It is with profound humility that I stand before you at this historic gathering convened under the auspices of Innovate Africa Corporation. I thank the organizers for their foresight in hosting this timely conference and for the privilege of delivering this keynote address. I also express my sincere appreciation to the Innovate Africa Leadership Council for the humbling recognition conferred on me with the Innovate Africa Leadership Award 2025. This honor belongs to me not to be alone, but to the resilient people of Nigeria, and especially to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whose bold vision for renewal has given me the platform to contribute to our nation's transformation. The wording of your invitation later is not only a tribute, but also a compelling testament to the fact that amid the cacophony of misrepresentation and the fog of political distortion, there still exists organizations and individuals capable of objective, fair-minded, and rational evaluation of leadership and development efforts. That the organization found me worthy of this role in recognition of our commitment to infrastructural renewal and transformative leadership is deeply reassuring and truly appreciated. In an age when leadership is too often viewed through partisan lenses, your invitation stands as both a sitting balm and a powerful vindication, an affirmation that purposeful governance anchored on vision and accountability still commands genuine recognition. Your thoughtful words, I quote, "Your Excellency, your administration's bold investment in the infrastructural renewal of the Federal Capital Territory have not only redefined Abuja's global standing, but have also inspired confidence in Africa's capacity for homegrown solutions." End of quote. I'm not only taken as flattery, but as a sincere acknowledgement of the collective effort and transformative strides we are making in Abuja. Such commendations, echoed by many deciding voices from both within and beyond our borders, strengthen our resolve to continue serving with conviction and excellence. Let's take a retrospect, reflection on Africa's present moment. Africa today stands at a historic crossroads. On one hand, we are endowed with immense natural wealth, fertile lands, vibrant cultures, and the youngest population in the world. We're a continent of extraordinary promise, alive with creativity, innovation, and a deep cultural heritage that has shaped humanity itself. Yet, on the other hand, we continue to grapple with weak institutions, infrastructural deficits, widespread unemployment, poverty, and recurrent governance failures that have constrained our progress. This is the paradox of our age. How can a continent so richly blessed remain so constrained? How can such abundance coexist with scarcity? Such youthful energy be stifled by joblessness? Such sovereignty be undermined by fragility? This tension defines Africa's present moment, a moment of both urgency and immense possibility. At the heart of this paradox lies the decisive factor of leadership. Leadership remains the fulcrum upon which the destinies of nations turn. It determines whether our vast resources become a blessing or a curse, whether our diversity becomes strength or division, whether our challenges become stumbling blocks or stepping stones. When leadership is visionary, accountable, and courageous, even the most doubting obstacles can be transformed into opportunities. But leadership must also create the enabling environment for transformation by providing the critical infrastructure that attracts investment, drives productivity, and sustains growth. At present, the level of investment in Africa remains minimal precisely because of infrastructural decay and policy inconsistency. Roads, power, railways, and digital connectivity are the arteries through which development flows. Without them, the economy cannot freely breathe. It is to be deeply regretted that Africa continues to export raw materials and import finished goods, a cycle that perpetuates dependency and stifles industrial growth. This situation is unhealthy for sustainable development, which has eluded the continent for far too long. Africa's future will be written by the kind of leadership we nurture today. Leadership that not only dreams, but dares, not only commands, but serves, not only governs, but transforms. Read leadership in the 21st century. To Africa's future, we must first rebuild leadership itself. The time has come to move beyond transactional leadership, the kind driven by personal gain, patronage, and short-term calculations, to embrace transformational leadership rooted in vision, courage, service, and accountability. Leadership must not exploit, empower. It must not rule, but serve. It must not merely transact, but transform. Many commentators agree that the greatest impediment to Africa's progress and the chronic element development for decades is the plague of poor and mediocre leadership. Across the continent today, both in military and civilian dispensations, leaders have often emerged through self-serving conspiracies that bear little or no relation to national interest or development. Consequently, many African nations have been saddled with leaders unprepared for the enormity of leadership. The result is a tragic pattern of groping in the dark, with nations endlessly experimenting with the fundamentals of development, basic infrastructure, primary health care, functional economies, efficient democratic and judicial systems, and credible institutions. The 21st century calls for a new kind of African leaders who are prepared, principled, and passionate. Leaders who embody vision, and resilience. Leaders who believe in Africa's boundless possibilities and act decisively to unlock them. They must be bold enough to make difficult but necessary decisions must be bold enough to make difficult but necessary decisions. Proactive enough to anticipate the future, and committed enough to build systems that prioritize excellence over mediocrity, performance over politics. The leadership that Africa deserves in the 21st century is one that's about caring rather than controlling. A true leader must see himself as a servant, humbled by the weight of responsibility he carries for the welfare of the people. Africa is in urgent need of servant leaders, leaders who do not see themselves as bosses, but as mentors genuinely committed to the building of communities and the upliftment of people. Harry Gordon Selfridge and John C. Maxwell captured this distinction beautifully. I quote, "A boss drives his team. A leader guides them. A boss relies on authority. A leader relies on trust and goodwill. A boss inspires fear. A leader inspires enthusiasm. A boss, a leader says, we. A boss demands punctuality. A leader is early to lead by example. A boss blames when things go wrong. A leader fixes the problem. A boss knows the path. A leader walks it with the team. A boss says, go. A leader rallies his people with, let's go together. True leadership then is not about position or power, but about inspiring, serving, and joining with those you lead. This is the kind of leadership Africa must embrace if we are to move from stagnation to transformation. Leadership is not an abstract ideal. It is a living reality where both vision meets purposeful action. Here in Abuja, we have witnessed how infrastructural renewal anchored on political will and strategic investment can turn aspiration into achievement. Roads that were once impassable are now open. Bridges connect communities. Public spaces once abandoned now thrive with life, enterprise, and hope. These are not mere structures of concrete and steel. They are symbols of what is possible when leadership dares to dream and to deliver.